Boyfriend. Friday Night Funkin's poster child. Everybody knows and loves this little dude. At least most of us do.
Fuck you, Boyfriend! I fucking hate composing vocals for Boyfriend!
Whether you love him or hate him, everybody can agree that one of his most defining qualities is his voice and how high it is. But how exactly is a voice like that done? We all know he's voiced by Kawaii Sprite, but unless Kawaii got somebody to kick him in the balls for every note, he probably doesn't sound like that naturally. Well, in this old interview that the Funkin' crew did for the New Girls podcast, Kawaii Sprite explains such.
The voice of the boyfriend is actually my voice, but it's just pitched up and auto-tuned. You have to pitch it up, but you also have to fuck with the Formant, whatever you call it.
So let's talk about pitch and formant. This can get a little bit tricky to explain, so bear with me. Here we have Boyfriend and Daddy Dearest. Now, it's a common fact that they both have the exact same voice. But whether or not you're listening to the Week 1 live recordings or the chromatics, those differences actually vary. Take a listen to the Week 1 live recordings. The difference here is in the formant. The formant is essentially the tone, so of how high or how deep something naturally sounds. Think about it like a trumpet and a trombone. Both of these can play the same notes, but the trombone will obviously sound deeper because that is a bass instrument. A trumpet would sound higher because it's a smaller, more compact instrument, but the fact remains that they're both playing the same note. So back to Boyfriend and Daddy Dearest. The difference here is that Boyfriend obviously has a much higher formant and Daddy Dearest has a much lower one, but they're still singing the exact same thing. If we play both their voices together, they're singing the exact same notes. Daddy Dearest's voice isn't actually deeper, just made to sound like it's a lower tone because of the formant shifting. But that applies to Week 1's live vocal recordings. Now let's take a look at the chromatics. Here, I've done a recreation of Dad Battle using the official chromatics for both Boyfriend and Daddy Dearest. Obviously, you can tell that there's a huge difference between this and what we played previously. The difference here is in pitch. While Boyfriend's chromatic is still very obviously a combination of both pitch and formant shifting to get him to sound as high as he is, Daddy Dearest's chromatic is actually just Boyfriend's, but pitched down by 12 semitones, or a whole octave. Now, if we play both of their voices together, obviously, Daddy Dearest is still the one with the deeper voice, but this time it actually is deeper because it's pitched down an octave. If that all still sounds confusing to you, think about it like this. Pitch changes the key of your voice, while formant changes the tone of your voice, meaning it'll change how low or how deep your voice sounds without actually changing the key. So this brings us back to our original question. How do you get a voice like Boyfriend's? Here's a vocal melody that I wrote with my chromatic, which is pretty deep. Now let's get into the pitch and formant adjustments. There are plenty of different plugins that you can use for something like this, but I'm going to be using Vocal Transformer in Logic Pro. So all I'm going to do is bring the pitch up by 12, which is a whole octave, and then bring the formant up by 4. And now you'll have something that sounds like this. I'm like, what do you say fuck me for?